Welcome or welcome back to Naughty Autistic Granny. I have no idea what this video is going to be about, so my suggestion is to, grab onto my coattails and let's ride. So life has been a little discombobulated in the Naughty Autistic Granny household. My son is back from Florida. Didn't go so well for him, quite so well, I guess to say. I kind of had a feeling he was out of his routine. He's autistic too and ADHD, and he was out of his routine. And it eventually got so overwhelming that, he tried to like crawl into himself, and like blow up his internal planet, trying to figure shit out. And that didn't work so well. So he had a classic autistic meltdown. It was ugly. And he is here now, and that's okay because, we know how to work with him through, through his meltdowns and everything like that. So he'll be fine here. But our household is turned upside down, and my routine is, questionable. He's putting things, like in the refrigerator where my things go, and, he's forgotten, like some other things, like I like to have him, because, he's been an adult and living on his own. So, there's a lot of adjustments to do because he's autistic with yet another routine change, and I'm autistic and he's upsetting my routine. And my husband is not autistic, but he is neurodivergent, and he's just loving all of it. I don't know what's wrong with him. But he seems to be enjoying it. So as long as that's the case, then I'm happy too. So now back to crochet life. You guys, first off, I've been learning a lot about myself. Absolutely. And this new project, this new story of mine, she's right here. We're starting to bond and come together, come together now. She explained to me that she will be showing things about myself. She will be showing me things. She said, you may not like them. She goes, but we will get over them together. And she's telling the truth so far. We've been working together really well lately. So I can't wait to show you how large that is getting. And so I haven't really worked on anything else. Oh, I did get my, hang on here. Ugh. I did get my color theory, 2 of Wands color theory. This is the caper, so I can finish my poncho. Right, she's right here. And so I'm going to be able to finish that, so I'm excited about that. But other than that, the only thing I've been working on all week is this star blanket and just wrapping my head around my learning style and addressing that I have. My hair looks really good today, but I think I need to moisturize it. Anyway, squirrel. What was I talking about? I know it had something to do with the star blanket. All I know is we've been getting along really well, and I'm starting to get a rhythm with everything, and I still have issues with having to frog things because, oh yeah, I was talking about my retention skills. You guys, I didn't realize that my retention level was so low on things that I do learn, even if it's a subject that I love. I have problems with retention, which is so interesting because some things I can remember in minute, minuscule detail, down to the pore or pockmark or whatever you want to call it, And so that's just so strange to me that, doing projects and stuff like that attention to detail just disappears. And it's so interesting because I'm like, exactly when does ADHD step in? Because I understand now that autism and ADHD isn't 2 separate things like I thought. We're all in there together. And it feels like that too. And trying to figure out what happens with that transition to where I'm honed in and I've got that autistic lock in? I'm locked in. When does ADHD step in with all of the other things? I mean, is it layered? Is it all like one machine that works together and it gets caught? I don't know. But I'm figuring it out, and it's not going to be perfect. I already know that because, I've been this way since birth. So I know I can't change things, but I can learn workarounds and I can learn how to make things a little more easy for me and take little tiny steps, hopefully, to, you know, build up my confidence. And so I'm going to take a moment and set up my other tripod and put you back on here. I want you to see how large this blanket is getting. It is so beautiful. I am on my, let's see, I think I just started my fourth ball. 4, 5, 6, 7. Fourth or fifth ball. And I'm not going to need to use near the yarn that I thought, which is wonderful because I want to make something else out of this yarn. This yarn is horrible and it sucks to frog it, but it is so stinking beautiful that, I really don't care. So anyway, blah, 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 as usual, Dee Dee is on board today. My head is all over the place today on my Adderall, and she's just blasting through that like I didn't take anything. Dee Dee was like, oh, you took your Adderall today? Well, you wasted that. I've got other plans. So, Anyway, let me get my other tripod set up and I'll meet you right over there. And just like, like that. Let me see if I can get this big, huge thing in one frame. So hang on. Was able to see it. Isn't she beautiful? It's stunning. Okay, hold on. Okay, so I'm definitely on my fourth ball. And if you remember, I'm using Hubie's Manaya. The one I'm on now, my fourth ball I'm on now, it has a different label than the other ones, which is interesting. And a different hook size, which is also interesting. But what I find annoying is the fact that where is it? These little tick marks right there. That's how many knots I've had to cut out and retie through this whole thing. That's how many tie-offs, and like right there, like quick, and so I've had to cut out 6 knots so far to retie to continue on. And 4 of those knots were before I got halfway through the ball. And so that's not cool. I mean, I understand the process. I mean, I know when you get to the end of something, you need to tie off and, continue. But, 6 times? That's a red flag. And the other balls, though, were absolutely perfect. And my issue with it only is one issue. The regular retail price of this yarn is $28 per ball. And to have 6 knots in it so far is unacceptable. And I'm not finished with the ball, so I'm going to keep tallying and tagging it up. Because after I'm all done with the star blanket, I'm going to be, revealing it and doing that whole 9 yards and stuff like that too. So, but for now, you guys, I love it so much. And I'm making another one. My husband wants his own star blanket, and now that my son is here, he has the granny blanket and the Alf, right? Why does he want a star blanket too? I said, you can't have everything that's mine. He's already using all of my face wash. He's using my toothpaste. He's eating my Rice Krispie bars. But, he did buy groceries, for the whole month, so He can have a Rice Krispie bar or two. You know what I mean? So anyway, I'm kind of excited. So that's all I'm going to be working on today. And I'm actually thinking about picking up that that poncho, the blanket poncho that I was working on, that gorgeous green one out of the Puzzle Shimmer. I I really want to pick that up again too, and kind of finish that off. I want to finish off, wherever I put it. I don't know where I moved it, but I want to finish off that all of that yarn and see how far I can get with it and see if I need to add more, if I'm going to, add on a different color or something like that. So yeah, that's kind of been tugging at my brain. So I want to finish this poncho right here. My poncho shawl cardigan thingy. I want to get that done. I want to start working again on that other poncho and the star blanket. She's the star right now. So she gets, the bulk of the attention. She gets 80% of the attention and the other 20% is spread out amongst, the rest of the whip. So, okay, well, I will see you in my next clip. It's many, many days later, and I'm not quite sure how many days later, but I know my son's been here almost a week now. Let's see. He got here on Sunday, and now it's Friday. So yeah, here I am. My household's a little topsy-turvy right now, but we're making it work. It's kind of fun, actually. I'm good. So yeah, I have been working on that poncho. She's right here. And I'm putting on the last tassels. And I know I keep saying tassels, but y'all know I mean fringe, right? Sometimes when I can't think of the word, I replace it with a different word, and then that becomes the word. Always. Like, I never know what to call, those things that tell you how to, how to make stuff. So I call them recipes because that's the only thing that comes to my brain. So anyway, that's what I'm working on. And you guys know that I'm using the color theory for that. So I'm going to finish that up. And I only have like, I don't know. Let me see. I only have like 7 more to place in here. And so that's going really good. The blanket, I'm not going to show it quite yet again. I showed it in an earlier clip, but I just added my, that was when I had added the 4th ball, and now I've just added the 5th ball last night, and I've done, I've gone around the star blanket twice now with this new yarn. So this is the thing. I had bought seven total balls of yarn for that blanket. And right now I'm on 5. I think I'm only going to need 1 more ball of yarn. And I think I'm going to end it on using 2 of the same color. That colorway, what color am I working with right now? It is so stinking pretty. Oh, here it is. I'm working with colorway 3 of the Hubi Manaya. Oh, I love it so much. I thought it was going to be my least favorite color, but I think it's going to become my favorite color. I don't know. But the colorway on it is ochre, brownie, turquoise, and dark blue. It's just so, it's so pretty. I'm really surprised and very pleased. So there's that. And so, yeah, I've been working on the star blanket, and we're bonding quite nicely still. Finishing up the poncho, so hopefully by the end of this video, I'll be able to put it on and show you. Matter of fact, I will, unless I forget, because, there's too many people living in my house right now. And so, I'll do the best I can. And, oh, and I actually touched the green poncho. It's over there. I actually touched it today so I could figure out what hook I was using. Ooh, you know what I did though? Luckily for me, is I like to take a picture of my project I'm working on with my hook, just for pretties, It's a good thing I did that because I had no idea what hook size I was using on that damn poncho. Whew, that would have been a problem. And so, yeah, I'm finally getting some normalcy back. My son's helping out around the house pretty well. And so that's really nice. And, you know, we have a built-in chauffeur now because, you know, we're old and we like being driven around. And, you know, my son's calling me Miss Daisy. So, you know, whatever. But we're having a good time. And it's actually fun kind of being, you know, like a little mini family unit. So both my boys, my older boy and, you know, my younger kid went out fishing. So I actually have the house to myself, which is really nice. So I managed to finish my poncho cardigan shawl thingy. And it turned out really nice. Let me show you what I did. I finally got all of the fringe done. Tassels, fringe, you know, I say whatever. They're interchangeable. And so I had two choices to make. Either the mandala in the colorway Tranquil or the Color Theory Two of Wands Color Theory in the colorway Caper. And the vote was in, and so I went with both. And so I combined them around the neck and on the sleeves, the two colors. And I think it's absolutely gorgeous. It turned out so nice. And the sleeve that I did, I went around and looked at several, you know, other people's poncho cardigan thingies, and they like just tacked it, you know, or whatever. And, you know, I'm not just going to tack it, you know, I'm extra. So I made an actual partial sleeve. And so my sleeve is put together like that instead of just tacked. I sewed a nice piece so my arm actually like sits in there. It is so comfortable to do it that way. I tried tacking the other side, but I just didn't like it as well. It didn't feel as secure on my body as, you know, just making a full partial sleeve. And so it turned out so nice. Let me back up so you can see the whole thing. It's so pretty, you guys. I'm impressed. This is my first wearable that I've made, and it's just stunning. Take a look. It just turned out so nice. And so I'm going to take a seat and talk about this poncho. And I'm also actually working on, you know, the other one. I actually touched it and rewatched the tutorial on it from, you know, my favorite gal from Bag O Day. And so it's coming along too. So let me get this poncho off and turn my camera around, and I'll see you in that fast. You know, I know I need better lighting in here, but I don't like bright lights, so I hope you can see okay in my videos. So I've got my poncho in front of me, and I've got some really cool stats because, you know, that's her area of expertise. Sort of, because, you know, this one gets to the way and, you know, mucks up the soup, you know, like too much salt or something. I don't know what she's putting in the recipe, but, you know, she's doing too much. You're doing too much. But anyway, so for this poncho, I made 3 big, huge granny squares. And then I stitched them together. End of story. I used, for the bulk of the poncho, I used the mandala in the colorway, you know, Tranquil. And this yarn was such a joy to work with. And this was one of my first yarns that I purchased when I started learning how to crochet. And it wasn't my first big girl yarn order. I wasn't quite there yet, but it was my first order that I made off of Amazon. That was more than like it. Okay, it came in 2 3-packs with a little bag. That was kind of cool. And so I did that. And this is really weird because I'm pretty sure 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, so this is the one that's left over, and I don't think I've used anything out of this one. And so out of the original 6 balls of the mandala, I have 1 left. So 5 full balls of the Tranquil went into this, and then I don't have any left over, but also 2 balls of the mantra mandala ombre in the colorway yeah, I just said it right. Uh, um, not this one. This one is tranquil. And this one is mandala. Sorry about that. And so I used 2 full balls of this. And so how it all played out. Oh, and then I rounded it out with the trim with the color theory in the colorway caper. And so the panels were all done in the tranquil. And then I, starting like right here, these darker colors, this little bit of a baby kind of sky bluish color and this green, those were the colors that were added by the mantra colorway. And then I rounded it out and trimmed it out in this green, the caper color for the trim, and then sewed it all together with the trim. And then you just saw the tassels, fringe tassels, you know, and they came out so nice. And so I made them using, you know, just a book, you know, a regular old book. And then I put 4 tassels in each granny square hole all the way around the whole entire poncho. It took a long time, but it was actually pretty enjoyable. And I think I talked about that. I don't remember if it was this video or the last video. It was kind of relaxing and very cathartic and soothing to do that, you know. So I actually found this girl that puzzles. I did not know there was a puzzle subculture. Did you? Holy smokes. I knew about gamers. Gamers, you know, have been around forever. But I didn't know there was a subculture for puzzles. I mean, it's on a whole nother level of Comic Con. It's like its own animal. But anyway, I found this girl and I was watching, you know, her doing her, you know, 8,000 piece puzzle while I was, you know, finishing up the tassels and everything like that. So it was quite entertaining. And so, yeah, I love it so much. And I'm really excited. Being able to finish this piece is actually stacking up my confidence a little bit better, because my confidence has been stomped on, you know, the past several weeks. And it's my confidence is quite tender right now. So this was a big win, and it's comfortable. It's soft. I can't wait to just snuggle up in it at night if I can keep it off of my son's body. And anyway, it just turned out so nice, and I'm really excited and looking forward to, you know, making another piece of clothing. I'm going to try another tank top. I'm not going to let that tank top win. That's not going to happen. So, it might, well, okay, wait. That particular pattern might win. I'm gonna find an easier pattern. I'm gonna find a pattern that is more compatible, you know, with my things. So that's what we're gonna do. Okay, well, I'm done talking for now. So, you know, I'll see you when I see you. Okay, I think I'm gonna call it for this right now, because while the guys are gone, I think I actually want to go try to, you know, figure out what to cook. I think I'm going to make homemade pizza tonight. So I want to make sure I have everything for that without all of them being in the kitchen, you know, getting in my way. But anyway, this poncho's coming along really well. This is all that's left of this ball. And I don't know. I think I only have like 3 balls left of this, maybe 4, but I think 3 only. So I don't know. It wasn't really the best recipe, type look for the yarn that I wanted to use, but you know, it is what it is. I'm going to go ahead and finish it. But for the size of poncho that I wanted, I might have to order more yarn, and it's going to be a different dye lot because, you know, this is that Premier Puzzle Shimmer. And if I do have to order more yarn, though, I might order the Premier Puzzle regular color without the shimmer. I wonder if that would matter with the dye lot. It shouldn't, right? I don't know. Tell me what you think. I might give it a try, though. But anyway, I'm done for now, so, you know, I'll talk to you guys later. See ya. Hi, it's the next day, and I'm in the process of working on my star blanket today. I left it alone for a couple of days just to let it rest. I did work on it a little bit yesterday, though, and I added my 5th ball I was telling you guys, and yeah, ever since I added that ball, my stitch counts have been off by 1, which means every row it's off an additional 1. So now I'm like 3 stitches off. So I need to take out, now I'm getting it. When I'm like 3 stitches off, I need to take out 3 rows. If I'm 2 stitches off, I need to take out 2 rows. And so I'm getting ready to take out, I was working on round, hold on. I'm working on round 7, which is all the single crochets that go around. And I love that because those single crochets become the anchor for the next row. And so I'm supposed to have 110 single crochets. And I actually have like 113. So I'm 3 stitches off. So I've already taken out a row. I'm taking out this single crochet row. And then I need to take out, ooh, what's going on with my light bulb? Woo. And then I need to take out this double crochet row because this one, let me see, where is it? Yeah, this one right here is the one causing the problems. It's 1 stitch, it's 1 double crochet too many. So at least I figured out when I make a mistake, like I said, if I'm 2 stitches off, that's 2 rows I got to take out. So I'm going to go ahead and do that, and then probably come back because I want to close out this video because I'm going to continue to work on the star blanket. I'm going to continue to work on the that green the other poncho. I'm going to be working on that one. And am I working on anything else, you guys? I've got my striped blanket, my mental health blanket. You know, that's an ongoing, perpetual thing out into infinity. Ooh, you know what that means? That means I need to come up with another project right now. And I need to stay focused on that because right now I've been focusing on my new editing software, which is so frustrating. It's been so much easier to do it on my phone, but that's only because that's how I learned, right? And so learning to do this new editing software has taken up all of my time. Like I worked on it like 14 hours yesterday and like 12 hours the day before. So, you know, it's my new hyper focus right now. So I don't have time to crochet right now. I got to figure out this damn editing software. So I'm going to continue to do that. And, but yeah, you guys, I'm glad I said that because I know my husband wants another blanket. I don't know if he wants a star blanket specifically or just a blanket. And so I need to work on that. And then, yeah, I just wanted to hit back in here and let you know what was going on with this. It's still the same old, but like I said, she's teaching me new lessons. And honestly, this mistake right here happened when I added the 5th ball and I was cocky and I was like, ha, I know how to add a ball into a project. I really don't. I actually just kind of like fudge it. I really need to figure that out. So I think I'm probably going to do that. After I take all this out, I'm going to pull up some YouTube videos and make sure that I'm adding my new yarn in the right way and that I'm not adding extra stitches when I do it like I did here. So that's what's going on today. And for lunch, I'm having leftover pizza for lunch today because last night we made homemade little pizza things. I like making them on a really soft like Tolera rolls and stuff like that. And so we have, you know, little individual pizzas. And so that was delicious. Okay, so anyway, I'm going to go do that. I'm going to finish this. I'm going to go get some lunch and yeah. Okay, so that wasn't as bad as I thought because I had, you know, another mistake in there. So I only had to take out 2 rows. So I don't even care that I found another mistake. So if there's 2 mistakes equals 2 rows. So I only had to take out those 2 rows. So that's really good. And another thing that I think I'm learning is, I know there are 2 ways to, you know, add a new ball or to change colors. And so I've been trying to, you know, feed it in and, you know, make it become, you know, part of the stitch. But I think for me, I'm going to do it the other way, which is to tie the new ball on. I'm really frustrated right now, so who knows? Okay, let's see here. I don't know, you guys. I'm really frustrated right now. I don't even know if I have enough to tie this on now, but I'm going to give it my best shot. I'm so mad. I'm not mad. I'm frustrated. I just want to go through life, you know, not thinking that I'm better than anybody else or that I'm special. I just sometimes want to go through life and have, you know, maybe something come out easy for me, you know, to where I'm not like always struggling. And I know I'm probably asking for too much, and I probably trimmed that a little bit too close. So I'm going to trim this up a little thicker, a little higher, because I don't care if there's, you know, fuzz sticking out. I just want my 2 colors to tie together, you know. I'm not going to pull too hard. Okay, let's try this again. Okay. Got my stitch here. Don't let me lose my stitch, please. Okay, thank you. Okay, so I've got my stitch back. Is that the right stitch? See how this yarn hangs up like that? It's so frustrating. I do wish I had. Okay, so I'm going to need to redo that last stitch. Okay, no problem. Okay, so we're going to put this stitch here. It's a double. And then we're going to attach to the top of the chain with a slip stitch. And then we're going to go into the same stitch with a single crochet. And then I mark that first stitch. Right there. Okay, and then I continue on with my single crochet. And so it's a little more cumbersome to attach a new color, but for me, I'm just gonna call it a wash and say, you know, it's no big deal. It is what it is. That's what I need to do to continue on. I don't mind the knots, you know, and it doesn't have to be completely seamless. Me and, you know, both the girls kind of agree with that. Sometimes we both agree that, you know, sometimes it's okay to just let something go. Just let it go. And, you know, find an alternative way to be able to move forward. And that's something that I've been really trying to work on a lot lately, these past few days, weeks, and months, actually, since I got my diagnosis, you know, and everything like that. Being able to look at whatever it is I'm doing and look at the frustrations associated with it. And then from there, trying to figure out, do I need to come at it from my ADHD side? Do I need to do something with the impulsiveness and the daydreaming and the executive dysfunction, the not being able to pay attention? Or do I need to pay more attention to my autistic side of things? and you know, me and Lizzie, and you know, do we need to ease up on the perfection, and ease up on, you know, our expectations of things that, you know, we don't know anything about. And so, yeah, okay, so I've put in a few stitches. Let's see how everything is looking. Okay, so here's where I added my color, right here. And you can see that knot. And I'll probably make it so the knot's, you know, like on the back side of the blanket. That'll be easy to do. And then, yeah. Now I'm starting back over with my round 7, which is the single crochet base row. And then I will be starting my next round over at round 2. And yeah, so that's where we are. So I wanted to show you how I did that. Yeah, okay. Okay, you guys, I'm back some hours later, and all of that stuff that I showed you earlier was completely wrong. So once I added the color and recounted and started redoing my stitches, I kept being off a stitch, and I'm like, why am I still off? I was right initially. I needed to take out 3 rows, not 2. So I was right initially. I was just hoping that I was, you know, more right the second time and not have so much work to do. But I do, which means I have to take out the whole row to readjust the row. I can't just like add a stitch, because then it'll like bunch up in that spot. And the more rounds you do, the more it's going to become noticeable. So, and we don't want that. So anyway, I'm going to close out this video and, you know, continue pushing on and take out that row. And then my plans for the rest of the night is to continue to, you know, just work on my star blanket tonight. That's all I really want to do. I've got to squeeze dinner in there somewhere and, you know, figure out what that is. And so, yeah. And so that's kind of what's going on this week. So what are you guys working on while you're watching my videos? What are you working on, and do you love it or do you hate it? I ask that because that's important to know. Stop wasting your time working on products that, you know, Stop working on projects that you hate or that you don't like. Put it to the side, and, you know, come back to it later. And you know all my other regular questions. Are you neurodivergent? Or do you have neurodivergent tendencies? I bet you do. Are you autistic or ADHD, or think you might be? Maybe. And I already know you guys love yarn because you're here with me. And I hope you like somebody that just likes to ramble on, because, you know, I do a lot of that. So, all right. I love you guys. Thank you for being here with me. You guys make this little journey I'm on so much better and so much more fun. And I really appreciate that. And with that said, I will see you in